Have you ever wondered why some photos speak to you while others don't? It didn't quite have the mood or depth or impact you wanted. 9 times out of 10, it comes down to how the light is working or not working in your shot. Light isn't just about making sure you can see your subject, it's the key to telling a story with your photos. Whether you're shooting with natural light, artificial light, or a mix of both, this is one skill that you have to master. I'm Alvin Turner from Providence Photography, and today's topic is one of the most essential elements of photography: light. But we're not just talking about having enough light so your subject is visible. We're talking about using light to shape the story, mood, and message of your photos. Our goal is that by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how light affects the mood and composition of your images. We'll dive into how to use natural light, artificial light, as well as some techniques that blend the two of them. We hope that it elevates your work, and lastly, I'll share a few common mistakes to avoid along the way. Let's start with the basics. Light doesn't just make your subject visible, it transforms it. It sculpts the subject, directs attention, sets the mood, and most importantly, it influences how the viewer interprets your image. There are three key elements of light that need to be considered every time you shoot: direction, intensity, and quality. The direction light is coming from changes everything. Front lighting, the lighting hitting your subject head on, is great for clear, evenly lit portraits, but it can also flatten your subject. Side lighting, however, adds depth and dimension, creating shadows that bring out the texture and shape. Then there's backlighting, which can create beautiful silhouettes or highlights around your subject, making them stand out. Intensity refers to how strong or soft the light is. Direct sunlight at noon is harsh and creates strong shadows. While this is difficult to manage, it can be used for high contrast, dramatic images. Softer light, like what you get during the golden hour, is more forgiving. It smooths out skin tones, softens shadows, and creates a warm, inviting feeling. Quality is where light gets its texture. Is it hard light, like the sharp shadows you get from direct sunlight, or soft light, like when it's diffused by clouds or a window curtain? Hard light is great for adding a sense of drama, while soft light feels more subtle and calm. So, how do you actually apply all this? Let's start with natural light because that's where most of us begin. It's available, it's free, and it's powerful, if you know how to use it. One of the easiest ways to create more depth in your photos is by using window light. Place your subject near a window, but instead of having them face it directly, position them at an angle. This way, the light falls across their face or body, creating shadows on one side. Shadows are what give an image depth, making it look three-dimensional. Another simple tip is to shoot during golden hour, the hour just after sunrise or before sunset. The light during this time is softer, warmer, and spreads more evenly. It's perfect for portraits, landscapes, or really any type of photography. What's great about golden hour is that it does half the work for you, making your images look more dynamic and polished with minimal effort. Now, here's something a lot of beginners overlook, which is the power of shadows. Shadows aren't just a byproduct of light, they're an essential part of your image. They help define the shape of your subject and create contrast, which can make your photos feel more layered and complex. When you're taking a photo, don't just look at what's lit, pay attention to where the shadows are falling too. Once you've got the basics down with natural light, let's talk about stepping it up with some advanced techniques. This is where you can really start shaping the story behind your photos. One technique is the use of artificial light to gain more control over the scene. You can start with something simple like an off-camera flash or continuous LED lights. The benefit of artificial light is that you're no longer at the mercy of the sun. You get to decide exactly how your subject is lit, and you can shoot any time of the day. You can also use light modifiers to take control even further. Soft boxes, for example, are great for diffusing hard light and giving you a soft, even glow. If you don't have professional gear, you can use household items like white sheets or foam boards as makeshift diffusers and reflectors. These help spread light more evenly and eliminate harsh shadows. And lastly, there's color temperature. The temperature of your light drastically affects the mood of your image. Warmer light, like what you get from a sunset or candlelight, feels cozy and intimate. Cooler light, like on an overcast day, has a more clinical, distant feel. By adjusting your light sources or even using gels on your lights, you can completely transform the atmosphere of your photo. Understanding color temperature helps you set the tone and emotion of your image without needing any words. Before we wrap up, let's talk about some mistakes to avoid. First, overexposure and harsh light. Shooting in the middle of the day with direct sunlight can make it really hard to control your exposure. You end up with blown out highlights and harsh, unflattering shadows. If you're stuck shooting in bright light, try finding some shade or using a reflector to balance the shadows. Next, ignoring how light interacts with your subject. Even with great lighting, if your subject isn't positioned properly, the image can fall flat. Always move around and see how the light falls on your subject. Tilt their head, move them closer to or farther from the light source, and watch how that changes the scene. And finally, relying too much on post-processing. Editing can fix some mistakes, but nothing beats getting the light right in camera. Fixing bad light in post is not a fun way to spend your time, so nail your lighting during the shoot and your editing will be quick and painless. Okay, so now you've got a good understanding of how light can shape your images and tell a story. Whether you're using natural light, artificial light, or a mix of both, it's all about controlling that light to set the mood and message of your shot. I'd love to hear from you. What kind of light do you prefer working with? Have you experimented with different techniques? Let me know in the comments below. And if this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future tips on mastering photography. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.